covered it up with tape and everything. Sushi's here. Excuse me. No, sushi. Sushi, no. There we go. Little paw. Ooh, no. Sushi, no. No, no. You're ruining the moment, man. Wow. Ta-da! Yay! Oh yeah, I changed my channel name to Nisu Film, but with all caps because it just looks more aesthetically pleasing on the plaque. Oh, you can see the camera. Hello. Oh, this is nice. No, don't step on it. Say thank you. Thank you. Wait, I'm gonna show you guys what happens when Sushi lies down and I blow on her face. Okay, right, hold on. Anyway, ta-da! Yay! No, Sushi, no! Okay, so in the video I'm drawing a cup of coffee for a new Patreon tier I just opened. It's called the Coffee Club, if that wasn't obvious. It's more of like a tip jar type of tier since it's around the price of a cup of coffee, but it also has some rewards. So if you decide to join, you'll be getting a bunch of updates, art process pictures, works in progress, upload schedules, thumbnails, etc. Basically everything I'm working on behind the scenes, plus a very new reward to all my patrons, and that's access to exclusive Instagram stories, and I'll update you on a bunch of other stuff on there as well. So yeah, links will be in the description if you want to know more. Okay, now a little bit about the actual drawing. I've actually never drawn coffee before. Well, at least not coffee that looks like this, where it has lots of gradients and abstract shapes. So I didn't really know how I wanted to go about drawing it, actually. I experimented a lot on different brushes and techniques. It might not be obvious, but this actually took me like way longer than what it would take me because I was just abusing the undo button starting again because it just wasn't looking right. But eventually I did get the kind of shapes and gradients that I felt pretty satisfied with, and it actually turned out looking very different than what my usual art looks like, and that kind of made me want to do more art studies on stuff I don't draw very often, but it seemed a bit too clean for me and not really my style, so I ended up doodling on top of everything with a pencil brush and making it look a little more sketchy. And I think that was the right decision because I felt pretty happy with the end result. Okay, so I have a problem. Well, it's not really a problem, it's just something that I kind of have to deal with or solve as soon as I can. I'm one of those people who sort of starts new sketchbooks before I even finish ones that I'm already going through, so I have been accumulating past few years. This one is the oldest one that I've been trying to finish. Be warned, this is a very messy and ugly sketchbook. I've been trying to go through this sketchbook. I'm almost done with it. Like, I have a few pages left. Most of the sketches in here I've already shown on Patreon. I don't think I'll be finishing the big ones anytime soon, but I actually bought a new sketchbook recently. This is like super cheap and I've been really enjoying it so far. Like, I've been doing hand studies in here. I've been watching Mob Psycho, so there's that. But yeah, I've been like really enjoying it so far, and I think it's because of the paper. It's so smooth. It's super thin. But yeah, maybe it's because it's so cheap that I'm sort of like enjoying my time with it. I'm not really caring about what I put in here. Whereas with this sketchbook that I've been trying to finish lately, I've been sort of overthinking what I put in here. I've been feeling like low-key imposter syndrome. I've been drawing a lot of things I don't usually draw. This is like a value study exercise. I might do a sketchbook tour with this. With these, I just don't know when I'll be finishing them.
확률이 낮더라도 최선의 선택이라고 생각해.
잘못되고 상무도 잘못.
Hello everyone. Hopefully you can hear me alright, but Sushi is right beside me, and if you can hear just weird background noise like random scratching or chewing, that's my dog. So a little bit about the drawing in the video though. So this was referenced from a picture of matcha ice cream on Pinterest, and I just added a few extra toppings to it. I don't actually like matcha. I don't like tea, but I really like painting with green. Yeah, I've just been like sketching food in my sketchbook with a red pencil and going over them with ink and paint. Like, I'm just trying to fill up this sketchbook. But yeah, I've been really loving watercolor and ink. I've been using them together for the longest time, but I feel like now I do have like my style with watercolor. I know how I like using it. It's not a very common way of using it, I guess. I don't like follow techniques or anything. Oh, I asked you guys like what mediums you like working with, what art supplies you enjoy, and I got a lot of really good responses actually. I didn't expect people to reply seriously to my question or just to have any replies at all. So yeah, that was really cool, and I realized that a lot of you really like gouache and watercolor, and some of you like alcohol markers as well, so that's really cool because in my next video I will be trying out alcohol markers. So to the people who are really good at alcohol markers, I hope you have patience because I don't know how to use them. I mean, let's talk about that in another video. Moving on to our usual topic, what I've been reading and watching lately. This month, I finally finished Sweet Bean Paste by Durian Sakegawa, and I gave this a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I was really excited to read this actually because it involved food, and y'all know how much I love food. This is about an ex-con who works at a dorayaki shop, and one day he meets this old lady who makes a really good bean paste. He decides to ask her to help him make really good bean paste. Yeah, the story goes on from there. It sounds really light. I don't want to say too much, but the story tackles deeper subjects later on, but that's basically the premise of it. I cried a bit near the end, which I wasn't expecting because the title is Sweet Bean Paste. You know, you wouldn't go into this thinking that it would make you cry or whatever. Giving it a 3.5 mainly because I wasn't necessarily very attached to the characters, and I don't know, I guess that's like a factor that often makes me really like a book, is if I'm attached to a character. It goes with shows as well. So speaking of shows, let's talk about the things I've been watching, because I haven't really been reading webtoons, so there's nothing to mention for that. So I finished Prison Playbook. It's a recommendation from you guys, and I loved it so much. I found out that the director is the same one who directed Hospital Playlist, and you guys know how much I love Hospital Playlist. But basically, Prison Playbook is about it's not a basketball player, it's a baseball player who ends up going to jail for defending his sister. I think it's a lot grittier than Hospital Playlist, but I really enjoyed it still. It has like a different vibe, but I don't know, it just, as the story goes on, it gets even more wholesome, and I cried a bunch of times watching this, especially near the end. But it actually took me some time to sort of get into it. The moment I got really hooked was when Looney was introduced to their cell, and I just loved him so much. I love his character. I actually really like all of them. I got so attached to the characters. I feel like that happens so often with me. But yeah, next I finished Ghost Doctor, and this one again I really liked. I watched it with my mom, and I don't know if I really liked it because I was watching it with my mom and she was just so invested in the story that I couldn't help but, I don't know, enjoy it even more, because my mom doesn't really watch like K-dramas that often, so the fact that she watched with me like every episode together, it was a really nice experience, and the story was really good. I cried a bunch of times as well. It's about a really good doctor who ended up in a coma, and he sort of becomes this coma ghost, and he ends up possessing this intern who he hates because the intern is like really obnoxious, but he was my favorite character of the whole thing, so I don't know. That's basically the premise of it. I don't want to tell you too much because I actually don't know how much I should say about a show, because unlike books, it doesn't really have like a written summary, it just has the trailer, so I'm just, I guess, basing it off that. Yeah. Next, I finished The Sandman. I actually finished this a few months ago, but I forgot to mention it because unfortunately it wasn't that memorable for me. This is based off of a book or a comic book by Neil Gaiman. First of all, the aesthetics of the whole thing, the visuals were amazing. Everything just looked so beautiful, but I don't know, for some reason just the story and the characters didn't really hook me that well. Sad for me, but a lot of people I know actually really enjoyed it, so yeah. Next, I watched Put Your Head on My Shoulder. This is a Chinese drama. I just realized that I'd never talk about Chinese dramas with you guys. I don't watch them very often, but once in a while I do if I need like a nice pick-me-up, because I usually watch the very fluffy rom-com type Chinese dramas, because I don't know, for some reason they're just really good at fluff. But I watched this a few years ago and I watched it again mainly for nostalgic reasons, and it was really fun. It was just as fun as I remembered, but this time I wasn't too big of a fan of the ending. I just felt like it was a bit cheesy for me, but still, again, it did its job. It made me squeal and feel all giddy, so yeah. And as for anime, I'm watching like 3 at the moment. I'm following 3 series, but I haven't finished them yet, so I don't want to talk about them. But I did finish 2 movies. Both of these I rewatched. One of them is Hello World, and this was like all sorts of messed up. This is my second time watching it and I still don't know how I feel about it. Same with the other one I watched, which is Fireworks. Again, these both sort of have like elements of, I don't know, otherworld type of things. They're not isekai, but they just, I can't explain it. I would rather not explain it because I feel like I might butcher it, or I don't know, like accidentally spoil the story. So as for other movies, I watched 20th Century Girl with my friends, and it didn't make me cry despite everyone else's warnings. I wish it didn't end the way it did, but I guess for the plot, that's what they need to do. But I really liked the cast. I really liked the chemistry they had with each other. Basically, this is about like a high school romance drama. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about it. Next, I watched the weirdest Korean movie. It's Decision to Leave. Again, I'm sorry if I can't explain it, but I don't even know if I understood what happened. I think it's really good. First of all, the cinematography was great, and I think the directing was also really great, but it's one of those movies that's gonna leave you thinking like, what just happened? Like, I don't know what that was. I don't know if I'd watch it again, but I'm pretty sure if I do, I'm gonna probably understand it more. It's one of those movies where you just kind of need to rewatch it a second time just to understand what was going on. But yeah. Next, I watched Ticket to Paradise. This movie I actually watched alone in the cinema. I actually have never watched a movie alone in the cinema before, but yeah, it was a really good experience for me because 1, the movie was lovely. 2, I actually wasn't aware that the ticket I bought was for one of those cinemas that actually has like the reclining chairs and the free drinks and popcorn and everything, so that was great. I watched this because I just wasn't feeling very okay this month or the last month, and I really wanted to just sort of go out and treat myself because I've never done that before. So yeah, I said nothing about the movie, I just talked about my experience watching it. But basically, this is about a divorced couple whose daughter is getting married to someone she just kind of met, and it happens in Bali, and it follows Julia Roberts and George Clooney, so I really enjoyed it. I don't know. Lastly, I watched The School for Good and Evil. Now, this is actually a book that I did not finish reading. I still have the book, I think, but I remember trying to get into it a few years ago, but it just never happened, so technically I didn't really know anything about it. I knew the main characters and I guess the premise of how they got switched and stuff, but that's it. The story was a bit cheesy, but the message they were trying to sort of send to the audience was really valuable. However, one of my friends who was like a really big fan of this book series just ranted so much to me about how the movie did not follow the book. So I enjoyed it because I didn't really like know what happened in the book. I'm trying to recall if I forgot anything, but if I did, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna mention it next time. But yeah, I think that's it. Let me know what you've been reading, what you've been watching, how you've been doing lately. A big thank you to my patrons for supporting my work and everything. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video whenever that may be. Bye everyone!